Alright, this is Alairex speaking, and today we're going to look at this Alairex HALO pedal, which is a dual channel overdrive distortion pedal, and it can do everything from low gain to mid gain to high gain, basically everything except fuzz and more metal sound. So there are a lot of controls here to look at, so we will dive right into it. It's two channel overdrive, so you can switch with this one. The yellow channel is low gain, and then the red channel is high gain, and it has a nice soft switch, so there's no click when you turn the pedal on and off. Anyway, so here the setting I have is in the high gain, but here's the clean sound. This way. So as you can hear, there's a lot of gain here, and that's just with the gain about less than halfway. So there's a ton here. So let's switch over to controls here. We will look at each of them individually right now. The first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to the low gain sound, and then come up with a starting point of a sound. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I dialed in a nice low gain sound here. The distortion mode is set to symmetrical, so this is more of a regular overdrive distortion pedal kind of sound. Alright, so here let's first look at the gain range. So if you turn it down all the way, it's basically stays clean. Here's the clean sound, and then engage the pedal. So as you can tell, I mean, there's really no coloration of the tone, and then you turn up the gain, and then you start hearing some gain. And then turn it up some more. And it still really responds to your pick attack, so if you pick softly, so it really responds beautifully to that. The sound is really brilliant. It kind of reminds me of like what I would think of as kind of a high watt tone. Really brilliant and articulate with firm bass. Alright, let's see how much gain is in this channel. It has quite a bit actually. So that channel by itself has just a huge wide range. Now we'll set it somewhere in the middle, and we'll play with the tone control. The tone control is there are actually 4-band EQ in this pedal, and then the tone control determines the high end. So I have everything set at noon right now. Tone it down a little bit. So the treble has nice big range there. Now what he calls it presence is basically like upper mids actually in this pedal, not like the ultra high end. The manual says it affects the range that really sort of accentuates the pick attack. So okay, I tone it down. Tone it up all the way. So as you can hear, this one really makes the kerrang of the tone. It really makes it come out. Okay, so here's the contour knob is basically low mids, so it makes it fatter. Turn it up. Turn it down. Back to middle. Now the bass, of course, determines the bass. Turn it up. Sorry, the amp is distorting, but. So all the range have really good, useful frequency range that it's covering, and there is a wide range that you can do. So I think you can make it adjust to any situation, amps, guitars, no problem. So let's check out this distortion mode. So we're in the symmetrical clipping right now. So when we turn it to the asymmetrical mode, it gets more darker and complex, and to my ear a little bit more natural sound. The volume goes down, so you compensate. So that's symmetrical. Oops, no, sorry, that's not symmetrical. That is the okay, asymmetrical. Back to symmetrical. Asymmetrical. I think at this particular gain setting, and it's not accentuating the difference very well, but in other settings I will try to see if I can make the difference come out more. The asymmetrical mode is darker and warmer, and perhaps a little bit more compressed slightly, but it's a little bit more natural sounding to my ears. And then the middle position is diode lift, so there's no clipping diodes. This gets brightest and loudest, and with the least amount of gain. Okay, symmetrical. Lift. It might not come through in the video really clearly, but you feel the difference, especially on the low notes. The low end attack really comes through, and it has a lot more sort of a, you know, like a boink boink kind of attack, which is kind of typical of pedals that do the diode lift. That seems to be the kind of response you get when there's no diode involved in that. Now, in all of the modes, there's just a lot of gain available here. So even with diode lift, if I turn up the gain, unlike some other situations, and excuse my hum there, that's not the pedal's fault. So that's with the least amount of gain. So there's just a ton of options, ton of gain here. Here's with the asymmetrical. The asymmetrical has a nice sort of a vowel-like sound, which is really nice for leads and stuff. It's a little darker, but okay. So now moving over to the red channel. Red channel is higher gain, and it has both the gain and volume, which is nice. So at the low gain. Alright, so that at low gain can do really low gain. The difference between the red and the yellow channel here is that the red channel has a tighter bottom end. It's a lot more defined. So, and then it has a lot more gain. So when you can go from there to so there's just gobs of gain, but there's still a clear sort of attack, the crack of the attacks that comes through, which is just really responsive and really nice to play. But again, the difference is mostly that in the amount of gain and in the low end. So I find that if you do a low gain on the red channel, you get a nice tight sort of a rhythm sound. And really the note definition is excellent. So even if you have gain, a lot of gain, and play dense chords, and difference in like pickup changes and stuff comes through. So that's with neck pickups. Now let's see, go to middle and bridge. Just bridge. from the middle and bridge to the bridge, so you could see it's just, you could hear the difference, but yet they sound both good too. Some overdrive pedals just sound good with one kind of setting with one pickup, and then when you change pickup, then it just all doesn't sound good. But this one just really translates really well. I forgot about this control. This is a second sort of a saturation that you can add to the pedal. You can either add it to none, which is where it's set, or you can add it to both channels, or you can add it to just the second channel. Now this will further drop down the volume and add additional compression and saturation. So it's a good example with the low gain mode. See, it drops the volume down, so you turn up the volume. That without it. And then you can add it to the second channel. Alright, so that is Alairex HALO, and one final thought I have on this pedal. As you can see, I mean, you can do a lot of different things, and it can do it really, really well. Now, something to keep in mind, of course, this is a $400 pedal, and so while I don't think you'll be disappointed, it's at the same time, I can't honestly say, I mean, this pedal is like offers the best value either. I think if this was like a $300 pedal, I'll be jumping up and down going, wow, 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 this is so amazing. At $400, I'm like, well, yes, it delivers, but I expect it to at $400. That's the other thing. Another thing is, this pedal is fairly bright and has a really sort of a strong attack that is really brilliant. So for a single coil player like me, you end up just sort of taming the high end a little bit for warmer sound. It really has like I said, like a high watt, like brilliant, articulate, firm tone. So if you're expecting some kind of sag, or if you want it to be like a really warm and spongy kind of sound, this pedal isn't really great for that. It's really great for just that kerrang, of the brilliant gain, and then high gain, like distortion with lots of articulation, and really anywhere in between. And the powerful EQ will help you just figure it out, how it sits in the mix and how it suits your guitars and amps and stuff like that. So I do recommend it. It's an investment, but it's really built well, and the switches are nice, and the knobs are firm, and has a really good range, so you can get a lot of use out of this pedal. And it may really honestly stand in for a couple of pedals, and it will probably justify the cost then. Alright, so this is Articulation speaking, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.